As we enter the third chapter of Red Dead Redemption 2, heading south to the state of Lemoyne, the Van der Linde gang soon find themselves intertwined in the midst of a feud between two rivaling families, the Greys and the Braithwaites. The feud one has for the other apparently stems back to the belief that one had stolen from the other, leading to a deep and dark hatred as one does what it can to subdue the other, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the history of the families, their current day setting and the true reason behind the dispute. Welcome to the video. You're listening to Phil of Filbee Gaming. If you enjoy the following, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, after watching please consider doing so. With that being said, let's begin with what we came here to see. The Braithwaite-Gray Feud explained in Red Dead Redemption 2. So before we get into the current day setting in respect of the title, let's take a brief look at the history of each family, beginning with the Greys. The Grey family emigrated to the regions of North America in 1755 from Scotland, UK, when Jacobite supporters began hunting and killing loyalists who had informed against them during the 1745 uprising. The founder of the family, Ross Grey, was one such informer who had been paid for his services in cash and cattle and was given land which was confiscated from his neighbour. The family arrived in the Scarlet Meadows region of Lemoyne, soon establishing themselves in the area. Taking advantage of the slave trade, they inserted themselves into the production of tobacco and cotton, all while using this fresh start to cover the real reasons they fled their native land of Scotland. In 1806, a large sum of gold was taken from a large family in the area, the Braithwaites, with the Grey family receiving the blame. This sparked a feud between the two families, which still raged strong during our insertion in 1899. Following the abolition of slavery, the Greys suffered financial difficulties, but soon found their feet after purchasing the Rhodes Parlour House, as well as inserting themselves into the local law of the town, soon becoming the leading authority of Rhodes. The Braithwaite family, who originated from England, established themselves in North America around 1779. By the 19th century, they had inserted themselves heavily into the slave trade, opening a plantation at their large manor in the heart of Lemoyne, a stone's throw away from the town of Rhodes, somewhat adjacent to the land owned by the Grey family. They gained reputation as one of the more powerful and richer families in the area, their stance shadowing over the Grey family. Following the abolition of slavery and the defeat of the South in the Civil War, the Braithwaite family suffered significant damage financially. Due to this, they would later involve themselves in the illegal trading of bootleg alcohol, moonshine, as a way to support their monetary needs. So as both the Greys and Braithwaites led opposing lives in 1899, one family law-abiding and the other law-breaking, enter the Van der Linde gang. Encountering the Grey family first during a prison transportation, we're introduced to the Rhodes Town Sheriff, Lee Gray.
How are you, boys?
Fine.
This is quite some country you have here.
We like it well enough.
Hoagie McIntosh, at your service.
Lee Gray. This is my deputy Archibald McGregor.
It's good to meet you.
You a Scot?
Partly.
After assisting the local law in recapturing a criminal family, the Anderson boys, Judge Van der Linde sees opportunity to insert himself and his gang into the mix as they learn from associate Josiah Trelawney that there's rumours of apparent gold hidden somewhere, the same gold we know that sparked a rivalry between the families.
The whole town is trapped in this interminable feud between the two families. His lot, Greys, and the Braithwaites.
Interesting.
Two old plantation houses, falling out, rebel gold, marrying cousins or not marrying.
Arthur, Jose, you start poking around. See what you can find out about that.
The gang begin working with the Grey family, providing services such as locating and destroying hidden moonshine establishments owned and operated by the rivaling Braithwaites, whom have been selling to the local gang known as the Lemoyne Raiders. It's during one particular task that the Van der Linde gang obtain a significant amount of moonshine. Under the planning of Hosea Matthews, they would use this to get an in with the Braithwaites. Upon meeting Catherine Braithwaite, the head of the family, Hosea would use the cover story of returning the moonshine as a means to form a partnership. In turn, Catherine orders both Hosea and Arthur to take said moonshine and give it away for free at the Rhodes Parlour, owned and operated by the Grey family, with intentions of damaging the rivaling family financially.
Pleasure doing business with you. And listen, we didn't take it. At least not without orders
Oh,
from...
I know exactly who gave you your orders. Old Sheriff Gray. You know what? I don't want it. In fact, sir, now you can do me a favor. There's an extra $10 if you do. Drive the stuff into Rhodes, head over to the tavern run by Mr. Gray, and give the stuff out for free.
Mama!
Hush now. I believe they call that a promotional expense.
Still not satisfied with her revenge on the Greys for putting a blockade on her moonshining business, Catherine Braithwaite orders the Van der Linde gang to hit the Greys once more, this time burning their tobacco fields. Whilst attempting to play both sides, the Van der Linde gang continue to work for the Greys. After meeting Tavish Gray, both the current patriarch and eldest member of the family, he orders the trio of Arthur, Javier and John to steal prized horses from the Braithwaites with the promise of substantial monetary gain. It's around this time that both families begin to suspect that the Van der Linde gang are playing both of them.
And have you met my partner, Arthur Morgan?
No?
I met your son, the sheriff.
Okay.
Mr. Gray here was saying how he had problems with a family of degenerates.
Oh, well, nobody likes degenerates.
Hag and her inbred sons. They ruined this county. They killed my uncle, you know.
That ain't right.
Problem is, we can't be seen to get too close.
And?
These are prized horses I'm talking about. Them, they'll get you 5,000.
5,000 for horses.
Easy.
And where do we sell them, these $5,000 horses?
Over in Clemens Cove. Fellow over there will run them out of state and give you 50 cents on the dollar.
Mister, you got yourself a deal.
In the midst of all this, while still hunting the apparent hidden gold, we have a Romeo and Juliet tale between Beau Gray, son of Tavish, and Penelope Braithwaite, daughter of Catherine. Both families are aware of the rumours between the pair, forcing them to continue their relationship in secret.
The thing is, I don't care if you kill the whole lot of us and the Braithwaites.
I don't want to kill anyone.
I love her, you know.
Love who?
Penelope. But it's impossible.
Well, love tends to be complicated.
She's a Braithwaite. I'm Beau Gray, son of Tavish Gray, nephew of Lee Gray, the sheriff, grandson of old Murdo Gray. We Grays have been loyal to the state and murderous to the Braithwaites for so long now, no one can even quite explain why. Beyond blind loyalty and stupidity.
Are you Penelope Braithwaite?
Well, yes, I am.
I've got a letter for you.
Oh.
And a gift.
A letter and a gift. Well, we don't even know each other.
Well, it's not from me. It's from,
From Beau. Oh, he is so...
Strange.
Yes, he's a little strange, but also so human. The rest of our families are stuck in the Dark Ages, or... Well, I don't know, cave people, perhaps. Beau's different. But if they find out, they'll kill him and send me to live someplace awful like Ohio.
Arthur Morgan helps out both Penelope and Beau whilst trying to obtain information on the treasure. He acts as both a driver and security guard during a woman's rally, while also passing letters and gifts between the pair. As Bill Williamson continues to work for the Greys, he is tasked with providing security for the family. Upon entering the town, accompanied by Micah, Sean and Arthur, something doesn't feel quite right. The Greys have come to realise their suspicions are accurate. The Van der Linde gang have been trying to play them like fiddles.
We're stuck in the middle of some ancient feud, but instead of playing both sides, we're being used by both of them.
They were saying the Catherine Braithwaite.
Hey, hold up. This don't feel right.
Now it don't feel right. I could have told you.
Sons of bitches.
Sensing an opportunity, Sheriff Lee Gray and his men ambush the foursome, ensuing a severe firefight leading to the death of much of the Gray family, as well as the beloved Sean McGuire.
You want us to come out? We'll come out!
Ah, Bill!
Guns on the ground, now! Both of you! Don't do it!
You know we can't do that. You put the gun down, Sheriff!
I'll blow his brains out!
You want to join your little friend there, do you?
Either way, you're a dead man. Morgan? Shit.
Meanwhile, Catherine Braithwaite has also realised the gang's intentions. As retribution for their insertion, Catherine orders the kidnapping of young Jack Marston, selling him to mafia tycoon Angelo Bronte. In turn, almost the entire Van der Linde gang launch an assault on the Braithwaite manor, causing the death of many of the family members, including Catherine Braithwaite herself.
I never liked you.
Why'd you take the boy, Mrs. Braithwaite?
You stole my
Boys are off
liquor.
limits.
You stole my horses. Ain't no rules in war, mister.
Matthews.
Yes, that's it.
Where's the boy?
My sons gave him to Angelo Bronte. So my guess is Saint-Denis. Either there or on the boat to Italy.
Let's go!
Arthur, come on! What we doing with her?
Leave her.
I told you she was crazy.
Tavish Gray, after understanding that almost his entire family have been slaughtered, takes his own life while clutching a letter confirming his family's involvement in the uprising in Scotland some years before. So with the head of both families now deceased and no gold in sight, what's really happened that sparked the intense feud between the Braithwaites and the Greys? Well, our answer lies within the letter. To the rear of the Braithwaite manor is a large tree. Carved upon the tree is an etching with a Death Adder spits. Inspecting the in-game map, we see that the land layout just north of Copperhead Landing simulates an adder, and in its spitting distance, if you will, are a collection of small islands. Searching these islands, the player will uncover a lockbox. Its contents, a letter written by one Lucille Braithwaite addressed to Douglas Gray, dated June 12, 1806. It reads as follows. My dearest Douglas, the mere act of writing your name weakens me with longing. My exile in Connecticut has endured barely 3 weeks. It already feels like a lifetime since I last saw your wonderful smile. Why should the family into which I was born and a surname that was imposed upon me dictate whom I can and cannot love? Like you always say, however, there are many less fortunate than ourselves and subject to far worse partially and narrow mindedness. Please take all that gold to the group I told you about. It should provide them with enough funding for another 2 years of operation, so they can keep pressure on Congress to abolish the importation of slaves into this country once and for all. Our two families are so blinded by avarice and bitterness that either will not realise it missing or they will assume the other has stolen from them. Then come for me, my love, as we planned, and we will flee somewhere far away, down to South America or across Europe, where we can simply live our lives as Douglas and Lucille, not as Master Gray and Miss Braithwaite. Yours always, Lucille. So we learn in fact that the gold stolen was not by the Gray family, but was an internal robbery by Lucille Braithwaite, and the resources were used to fund the abolishment of slavery, something of which provided the primary income to her family's wealth. Herself and Douglas Gray would later have plans to abandon their respective families and live a life free from it all. Although we never learn of the fate of the duo, we do learn of the fate of the modern-day forbidden love interest of the two families, Penelope and Beau Gray. As we enter the final chapter of the primary narrative, Arthur receives a letter from Penelope asking for his assistance one final time. Upon meeting with her, Arthur learns that both Penelope and Beau plan to feed their respective families and head to Boston, Massachusetts in search of a new life, very similar to how Lucille and Douglas did some years before. Also similar, Penelope has lifted a family heirloom, a sapphire bracelet. This is the Braithwaite treasure, or at least a small portion of it, that the two families have been searching for this entire time. After fending off the remaining members of her family, as the trio head on a train bound for Saint-Denis, Arthur is gifted the treasure as Beau and Penelope continue their journey to live a life of their own. So after the fall of both families, there were no victors, only death. So was this all worth the century-long feud leading to the demise of many? Absolutely not. But both the Greys and Braithwaites were too stubborn in their own right to see past their rage and squash any differences they had between them, or with the exception of a handful, Penelope, Beau, Lucille and Douglas. So if anything, at least the non-bigoted members of each faction were allowed to continue on and live a life in peace. If you enjoyed what you saw today, you all know what to do, and if you're new to the channel and haven't subscribed already, please consider doing so. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.